Hello there, and welcome once again to The Verdict. I'm Mick Cornett along with Kent Myers. We're here every week meeting interesting people and dealing with topical issues. We welcome in an old friend today.
Yes, we've been talking with Mike Holder back and forth the last month or two, trying to get him on because we wanted to do our usual update on OSU Athletics, and fortunately we found a break in his schedule where he could come down here and do this for us, and we're really pleased that he do that and look forward to talking to him.
I don't know that athletic directors ever get a day off, so we really appreciate that he came by to see us. We'll have Mike Holder on right after this break.
During my time as Assistant Secretary of the U.S. Department of the Interior, I witnessed a fundamental transformation in the government-to-government relationship between tribes and the United States. What I hope is that history has turned a corner with Indian tribes. My name's Kevin Washburn, and I'm a professor of law at the University of New Mexico School of Law, and I'm a Chickasaw. The joy of my life is teaching students, sending them out in the world to help take care of their communities. And federal Indian law is a powerful force for that because the law often is on the tribe's side. My Chickasaw lineage comes from my mother's side of the family. I know she had some rough times, but there's such a tremendous sense of pride now because we have really come a long way since those times. The Chickasaw Nation has always been about helping people to help themselves. And today, it's Chickasaws taking care of Chickasaws. I don't look like a Native American necessarily, but I am a full citizen of the Chickasaw Nation, and I'm very proud of that.
See more stories about the Chickasaw people at profilesofanation.com.
Welcome back to the set of The Verdict. I'm Mick Cornett, along with Kent Myers. Kent's going to introduce today's guest.
Well, as we talked about in the opening segment, we're really pleased to welcome back to the set of The Verdict for his fifth appearance with us, Mike Holder, the Oklahoma State University Athletic Director. Mike's been Athletic Director since 2005. A little bit of history that we always try to give. He did both his undergraduate and his master's work at Oklahoma State University. For 32 years, he was the head golf coach at Oklahoma State and won 8 national titles. He has had a lot of awards and been very active in improving the OSU Athletic Department, and we're really pleased he'll come down and kind of give us our annual or semi-annual update on what's happening at OSU Athletics. Mike, welcome back.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
It is good to have you back. We are in the middle of the winter sports season, wrestling and basketball, and we're taping this show just a little bit before it airs, but kind of in general, how do you feel about those two programs?
Very good. You know, John Smith, what a great coach he is. Not only a great coach, but a great American, great Oklahoman, Olympic champion. I mean, every time I shake hands with him, I get a little goosebumps, you know, seriously. So, and then I'm really pleased with our basketball coach, our newest hire, Brad Underwood. He's really resonated with our fan base. I think he gets it. He's a old Big 8 conference player from K-State, played for Jack Hartman, who is an OSU legacy, so there's that connection. He was recruited by Oklahoma State University. I think on his recruiting visit, his host was Bill Self. Oh. Wow. So he didn't think much of Bill Self's recruiting ability. He didn't get him to go to OSU. But anyway, he really, really wanted to be our basketball coach, and the feeling was mutual. And I think that's, as I said, resonates with our fan base. He's connected with our student body, and he's going about the business of trying to rebuild our fan base and get them back in our arena and put it back where it belongs, up there at the top of the list of the best venues in college basketball in America.
Women's basketball.
We're struggling a little bit now, but I'm very pleased with Coach Littell, and we've still got about half the season left, so plenty of opportunities for wins. Unfortunately, we play in a tough conference, both the men and women.
Yeah.
Back in January, you observed another anniversary of that tragic event with the plane crash and the loss of the athletes. How does that still impact you?
Well, every year that anniversary comes around, I get to see the families, and I didn't know everyone very well back then, but I did know Nate Fleming, and I did know Will Hancock, and kind of ironically, right at that time that happened, we were renovating Gallagher-Iba Arena, and we moved all the offices out of Gallagher-Iba and into a business building out there on the west side of town. And makeshift offices, and they had partitions throughout one big room. And so the only thing that separated Will Hancock's and my desk was like a 5-foot little partition. And so desks butted up against one another, and anytime I wanted to talk to Will, I just had to peek over. And he was the smartest guy in the room, had a lot of great ideas, you know, a legacy from his family of a connection with sports, collegiate sports, and I miss him every day. He was very, very talented. And then Nate Fleming, I remember him coming into the training room when he first showed up in the summer to try to go through summer conditioning. And oh my gosh, he spent a lot of time in there. I don't think he was ready for the rigors of Eddie Sutton basketball. So great memories from those people. You know, you lament the fact that you never got to see exactly how their lives would have played out and what an impact they would have had on collegiate sports and society in general.
Well, sure, I think a very appropriate and classy way you guys note that very tragic anniversary. Be congratulated on that. Well, let's talk about Eddie Sutton just a minute. Your basketball team recently had a game where it played against another former Eddie Sutton school, University of Arkansas, and my memory is that was pretty favorable ball game for you.
Yes, sir. That was enjoyable. I never envisioned that we would win by that many points, but very special day. It's unfortunate that Coach Sutton couldn't be there. He's been a little bit under the weather, but you know, took both teams to the Final Four, really. Yeah. You know, and then you know, he played basketball at Oklahoma State, so, and his name's on our court, and he's got a banner in his honor there at Walton Arena in Arkansas campus. So huge, huge presence on both campuses. He's got a tremendous legacy at both places, which really brought a lot of attention to the game. And we've struggled a little bit in recent years filling our arena, but we packed it for that, sold out, and that was, and the crowd had a lot of enthusiasm. So there's a lot of interest in not only just basketball, but all sports playing against the University of Arkansas.
I know athletic directors have to constantly be looking at facilities. What's got your attention right now?
Well, baseball. We need to build a new baseball stadium. P. Reynolds has been there a long time and served us well. We won a lot of games there. At the time that it was built, back in the early 80s, it was state-of-the-art, probably the best baseball stadium in college baseball, and it's time to exit that facility and build something comparable in the athletic village. It won't be too far away from P. Reynolds, probably a quarter of a mile. But we got big dreams. We want to build the best stadium in college baseball. Not the biggest, but we'd like to think the best. We will propose to spend around $40 million for a stadium that only seats about 3,500, had 3,500 permanent seats. But a lot of the money will go into infrastructure, making it possible for our coaches to really connect with those kids and have classroom settings, have a weight room in there, a pitching lab, an indoor pitching facility or training facility, another infield so that you don't wear out your game field going through daily practice. So I know we'll get that done, and we're going to raise all the money, refuse to borrow any more money. We owe enough. And so we're dependent on the generosity of our fan base, and fortunately, we've got a lot of generous people that have gone to OSU and made a lot of money in their lives. So we've talked to a lot of people over the last 10 years. I'm getting more confident every day that we'll be starting this, and we're just looking for that naming gift, that lead gift, $20 million. Someone put their name on the facility, and really cement their legacy and I think the future of our baseball program. And maybe someone that's watching the program today would like to be that individual. I'm available 24/7.
Callers are standing by.
Yeah, if they want to write a big check. And then we're going to start a new facility for our women's soccer program that should get underway this month. We're going to spend 18 to 19 million on that. We feel like we'll have as good a soccer stadium as anybody in Division I athletics. So very generous gift from an alum of ours. I don't feel comfortable giving his name, but he gave $9 million for that. So about half of what it's going to cost to build it. And he's just one of many examples of the generosity of our alumni.
Big 12 meetings will be here before you know it. What's on the table? What's at the top of the agenda for the athletic directors?
Well, I think putting football back where it belongs, you know, and a lot of that is Texas University. I think they need to get back to where they've always been, a national contender. University of Oklahoma is holding up their end of the bargain, and I think the rest of our conference, us included, have elevated their football programs and invested in facilities. So I think to change the rhetoric around our conference, we are viewed by the media maybe and nationally a little disadvantaged because we're the smallest conference in the Power Five. But I don't think anyone disputes the fact we have the #1 basketball conference. Yeah. And there's no reason, in my opinion, that you can't have the #1 football conference. We just need to get out there and prove it on the field. And we've scheduled up in the non-conference. Everybody's required to play a Power 5 opponent in the non-conference, and incumbent upon us to win those games, not just schedule them, but win them. And then that really helps your profile. And then the same thing in the bowl games. Get out there and things like what Oklahoma did against Auburn, or what we did, our team did against Colorado in the Alamo Bowl. Those things really, really help our conference in the long run.
Let's jump into a break. Mike Holder is our guest. He's the athletic director at Oklahoma State University. We'll have more after this.
The good life comes naturally to Tulsa, where nature's beauty is matched with an eye for aesthetics. A legacy of neighborhoods graced with lawns and landscaping and handsome homes. A place that seems to have patented an ideal lifestyle. Bank First is loyal to the quality of life Tulsa assures its citizens, to the priority placed on education, culture, and growth. Loyal to builders who transform raw land into residential charm. Developers who see opportunity and add vitality to Tulsa's economy. Bank First serves both enterprise and private lives that need a loyal partner. It's how we help nurture this city's very good life. Bank First. Loyal to Oklahoma. Loyal to you.
Welcome back to the set of The Verdict. Our guest is Oklahoma State Athletic Director Mike Holder. It seems to me that there's more lawsuits, there's more litigation dealing with college athletics at the NCAA level and the conference level and the university level. And most of it is national issues, but is that just one more thing that an athletic director today has to be dealing with and communicating to their coaches about exposure and these types of issues and you know, because it can be very, very expensive at the end of the day.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I don't think that an athletic director in America sleeps comfortable any night because you have 200 plus employees in your department, us for example, and we're not the biggest by any means, and then you have 500 plus athletes and all the things that go along with young adults 18 to 22 years of age. So yeah, it's very unsettling. I really resent some of the national rhetoric relative to athletics, the talk about athletes being employees. I look back on my career at OSU. I walked on as a golfer and then earned a scholarship, and I thought it was a privilege to play collegiate athletics. You know, to go to college at first, I mean, I was the first member of our family to go to college. And so the opportunity that that gives you to change your life, change the life of your family. It's a place where dreams come true, in my opinion. And then just a big part of that, those chosen few that have an opportunity to participate in athletics at the same time, you get an education, it's special, and it should be cherished. So I resent people talking and inferring that athletes are employees. No, I disagree with that vehemently.
And nationally, the television contracts and the conference dealing with television contracts, how satisfied are you right now with the Big 12 television contract and where the national outlook is?
Well,
in
I
that
think
area?
we're in a great place. We're very well paid or compensated, and about the only negative with the television contract is now they control your kick times.
Really?
Yes, and
did you have to negotiate that away, or was that a thought process during
yeah,
the
they
negotiation?
paid enough where we
Yeah.
were willing to cede that authority, and so we found that the most probably with our television contract and the central time zone, really probably the prime time to play for the networks is 11 a.m. Well, that's not real popular with your students
Or your
fans.
merchants.
Yeah, so there's that conflict, that tug of war, those 11 a.m. kick times, especially like for us for a game like homecoming this year, we had to kick at 11 a.m. So that's not good. That's just an unpleasant byproduct of the money that we're getting paid.
And sometimes the game times are announced relatively late. I mean, you can't really make plans a couple of months in advance because you don't really know when the game's going to take place.
Yeah, and I think what you've done is that dynamic of television has kind of put you at odds with your fan base in certain ways. And there's a lot of competition for that fan's time, and it's expensive to come to a college football game. And in some ways, they feel like that they've been disenfranchised. So we need to try to do everything we can to mitigate that, because that home crowd, that atmosphere on game day, there's nothing like it. A full stadium is just off the charts good.
Well, it does force you to consider the game day experience more, because the television coverage is so good. I mean, it can be enjoyable in its own way, watching it on television, the information you get, and of course the cameras and the high definition television add to that. But the game day experience can't be duplicated on television. I know you guys focus on making sure the fans that come to the game get something beyond just what takes place between the lines.
Well, absolutely. It's incumbent upon us, all of us in athletics, to make sure that we never lose that as attractive as it is to watch the games on television, in everyone's mind there should be no substitute for coming to Stillwater or Norman on a Saturday afternoon in the fall and watching a college football game.
I saw some recent numbers. I didn't have time to pay enough attention to see where the numbers emanated from, but that live gate attendance, not necessarily in Big 12, but nationally, is down for college football.
Right.
Do you see live gate attendance in the Big 12 being down from what it has been in previous years?
Yes, fortunately not a lot, but any trend down is not a good sign. I noticed this, if you've read the newspapers, I think they're struggling a little bit even in the NFL, and that's the most powerful brand maybe in the whole world. So, well, maybe I shouldn't say that. I don't think it maybe will ever compete with soccer. Some people would say real football.
Yeah.
I don't get that one. But yeah, it's troubling, and I think we've got such a great product, though, that if we're just mindful of what we do and what we offer our fans, I think that we can hold the line. And in our case, at OSU, we need to grow our fan base. We haven't sold our stadium out on the basis of season tickets yet. That's a real goal. And then it's incumbent upon us to engage the students while they're on campus, because that's our future. That's our future season ticket holders and donors. And if you can get them involved in athletics while they're on campus, I think the data shows that they have a better chance of staying connected, coming back to campus, not just for athletic events, but for events over there on the academic side of the institution, and giving back. So athletics is a big deal long-term, short-term and long-term for every university.
In the 11, 12 years you've been athletic director, you've seen this incredible increase in social media and its impact. I mean, no one had heard of Twitter in 2005 when you took the job. today, I mean, as you said, not too many athletic directors have a sleep all the way through the night. That's got to be one aspect of it, but it's also a way for you to interact with your fans and also your potential recruits. And so I know you guys are dealing with it both ways. You're watching what you guys are putting out and then also trying to make sure that you can communicate with it the best you can, because it's kind of the expectation of that generation.
Well, and the real benefit from that is you get opinions. And the fans, I mean, that's who you're trying to serve. So if you listen to them, they'll take you in the right direction. Just give them what they want. That makes everybody happy.
They want to win.
We can't control that one, but we can do a lot more about the game day atmosphere.
I think there's almost unanimity of opinion that Oklahoma State University is #1 in football homecoming festivities and attractiveness. What did you all do to get to that point?
Well, it's, we think we're the best, and we draw a big crowd for the walk-around on Friday night. Upwards 50 to 70,000 people come into Stillwater that night. It's wall-to-wall packed like sardines all around the campus and sorority and fraternity houses. It's very compelling, and we're very proud of that. And I think it's because someone, and I'm not sure who, I'd like to give credit to someone, understood the significance of homecoming and what it could do for our campus, and we've never lost sight of that. We emphasize it, we talk about it, take a lot of pride in it, and kudos to the sororities and the fraternities that put in all that hard work from the first day of class in the fall right up to homecoming every year, which usually is around sometime in the middle of November. I mean, the floats that they build, the house decorations, it's just incredible. And to see how it's evolved and how intricate everything is and all the mechanical goings on behind the scenes. So as I said, we take a lot of pride in homecoming, and I expect it to get nothing but better.
As the former golf coach, you must take pride in at least 2 of your players that I can think of that are currently on the PGA Tour, Charles Howell III and Ricky Fowler. And Ricky, of course, wearing that orange on Sunday, I can't imagine the publicity and the help that is to that program and then to the university in general.
Yeah, what an ambassador.
Yeah, I'll say. I mean, for a guy that's from California and so cherishes his time in Stillwater that he continues to promote the team when obviously he doesn't have to. I mean, I don't see the other people out there paying the homage to their college that Ricky does.
Yeah, it's priceless, the kind of exposure he gives. It's not only in terms of dollars and cents every time they mention Oklahoma State on the telecast, but the way he carries himself and the way he represents our institution and the game of golf. We just need more young people like that playing the game and showcasing the game at the highest level. No different than Russell Westbrook here in the Oklahoma City community. People like that, you just can't put a value on them.
And the golf course, Carson Creek, still doing well. The men's and women's team playing out there.
Oh yeah, we keep the doors open. It's a unique place. It's the only golf course that I'm aware of that was built solely for the benefit of collegiate golf programs, and we haven't lost sight of that. We hope to host another NCAA championship in the next 5 years. We've bid on every year from 2018 through 2022, and I'm confident we'll get one. And then we ask the viewers of this show to come out and watch us. We'll put on a good show.
All right. Mike, it's been great having you on the show. We're out of time, but we appreciate you coming by.
Oh, it's a
Thanks for
privilege to
coming
be here.
down and doing this.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Kent and I'll have a final word when we get back.
There are now 11 million of us who live here and work here. I was 15 when I came here 6 years ago. I raised my family here, drive my truck to my job every day. The only difference between now and 6 years ago, I do it legally. I wanted to, because this is my home.
All children deserve a life of hope and love, but sometimes they experience a life of pain, neglect, and abuse.
When that happens, each child deserves all the quality assistance and representation that can be offered in our legal system. For more information, call 23-CHILD.
Oklahoma Lawyers for Children, helping to bring hope and love back to the lives of abused children.
You will always be mom and dad to me.
You have children coming from a different lifestyle, different mindset. You have to open your arms and really do what you have to do to have that child become a part of your family. And if it's more patience, that's what you do. Kids got to know they can trust you. And that's what we try to do with these kids.
You will always be mom and dad to me.
The Journal-Record is pleased to be a sponsor of The Verdict. The Journal-Record, since 1903, the best source of Oklahoma business news and legal information. And for almost 30 years, Oklahoma political, government, and business leaders have turned to the McCarville Report for accurate, reliable, inside information. Visit the McCarville Report online.
Welcome back to the set of The Verdict. Mick Cornett and Kent Myers. We're wrapping up a show with Oklahoma State Athletic Director Mike Holder.
Yeah, a lot of good things going on at Stillwater. This show is just not long enough to talk about all the things we'd like to visit with Mike about. There's so many programs at that one university that have enormous tradition and wonderful results. The golf program, the basketball program, the baseball program, the wrestling program. By leaving some out, I'm not meaning to demean any of them, but very few universities have that many different sports with storied traditions, really.
Yeah. And the impact that our universities, Oklahoma State and Oklahoma primarily, have on the state's image nationally and internationally, and a lot of that is reflected in the athletic directors. I mean, Joe Castiglione and Mike Holder are about as good as it gets. We take that for granted to some extent, but they do a tremendous job at creating this, national image of higher ed and athletics taking place for all the right reasons at these universities. We really are fortunate to have them. We have website information for you. You can get more information about Mike and his Cowboys at okstate.com. And we have a website. We'd love to see you go there and tell us about a guest you'd like to see. The website for that is theverdict.tv. That's it. We'll see you next week on another show, The Verdict.